Now to control your breathing. So we're going to breathe in through our noses and breathe out through our noses. So breathe in and feel the air going into your lungs and filling you up with air, and then feel the air going out as you empty your lungs as the air goes out. So feel the air going in, feel the air going out, feel the air coming in, feel the air going out. Feel the air coming in, feel the air going out. Feel the air coming in, feel the air going out. Tradiciones y fiestas. Visualizations. Now, I'd like you to picture in your head, to think of the image of the floral offering to Pilar in Zaragoza. All those flowers. Now I'd like you to picture in your head the image of Carnival in the Canary Islands. The parade of all the groups in their fancy dress costumes. And now to picture in your head the image in Cádiz of the hilarious and humorous parodies that the groups of people sing with very cleverly written lyrics. If we can have a picture in your head the image of Easter week with all those processions in Malaga, in Seville, in Valladolid, and Zamora. Now, if you can picture in your head the image of the Festival of Drums in the villages of Teruel, Albacete, and San Sebastian. Now if you can think of the calçotada de Vals in Tarragona with the Romanesque sauce and the oniony leeks that they dip in it. Now can you picture in your head the festival in Seville with all those costumes of people dancing, sevillanas. Now if you can imagine and think of them fiestas in Valencia of the Moors and the Christians marching through the streets. Now if you can visualize the Romería of Rusia. And if you can think of the tomato fights in Buñol, streets full of tomatoes. Now if you can picture in your mind the festival in Granada of music and dance. Now if you can think of Corpus Christi in Toledo, a celebration of Corpus Christi every year in Toledo. Now if you can think of the party in A Coruña, it's the Fiesta of Santiago, and the Botafumeira swings from one side of the cathedral to the other. Picture that. Now if you can think of the bonfires of St. John's Night, Midsummer Night's Eve. Now can you think of the bows and arrows and the amazing shows in Rioja? If you can think of now the Battle of the Flowers in Laredo with parades of so many floats covered in flowers. Now in Girona too, there is the Day of the Flowers. All the buildings decorated and with heads of flower heads, amazing. Now if you can think of and picture in your mind the medieval fiestas, which happen in places like Ida and Mont Blanc and Ayllón. Now can you think of in Pedraza in Segovia, the candlelit night in Pedraza, little candles lighting up the whole of the village. Also think of all the plays which are acted out in the amphitheatre in Mérida. The theatre of Mérida is very famous for that. Think of that. In Pamplona, think of the participants as they are singing to their Saint San Fermin before they run in front of the bulls. Picture in your mind the boat races in San Sebastián and La Concha, the regattas. Now think of the stone lifting and chopping of wood in País Vasco. Heavy stones that they pick up and the great big trunks of wood that they chop. In Lérida, there's the fiesta and Cervera, la Calarí de Cervera. Think of that, envisage it. Envisage in your mind also the battle in Haro of wine in Rioja. Now think of those towers of people, those castells in Catalonia. All those people, one on top of the other, and the little one at the top. Now think of the patios in Cordoba. Those beautiful flowers and colours, the smell. Think of the last day of the year, end of the year, 31st of December, 12 bells on the 12 grapes in the Plaza de Sol in Madrid. Now think of the bagpipes being played in Asturias, paying homage to their saint. And now think of the fires de Valencia, those huge pieces of art which they burn, the fires, the beautiful costumes, the bangers that go off at 12 o'clock every day, and the fireworks that finish the evening. Now we're going to relax. So, relax your feet. That's it. Relax your legs. Okay. Relax your hips. Now relax your body, the trunk of your body. Relax your arms. Relax your neck. Relax your jaw. Relax your lips. Relax your eyes. Relax your forehead. Now, imagine that your head is like a balloon and it's floating in the air. So imagine this balloon, your head, is floating. It's weightless. It doesn't weigh a thing. It's floating. It's floating. Think to yourself, my head is floating. My head is floating. My head is floating like a balloon in the air. My head is floating. My body is like a balloon. My arms, my legs, my body's like a balloon, weightless, doesn't weigh a thing. Like a balloon. My body is weightless, it's floating. My body is floating. Floating, it's floating. It's floating. My body is floating, doesn't weigh a thing. My body is weightless. It's floating, it's floating. It's floating. My body is floating. My feet up don't weigh a thing. My legs don't weigh a thing. My hips don't weigh a thing. My body doesn't weigh a thing. My arms don't weigh a thing. My neck doesn't weigh a thing. My jaw doesn't weigh a thing. My lips don't weigh a thing. My eyes don't weigh a thing. My forehead doesn't weigh a thing. Weightless, totally weightless, and I'm floating. You're floating in the air like a balloon. My head is like a balloon. My body is like a balloon. Weightless, weightless, floating, floating. My body is floating, floating. My feet are weightless. My legs are weightless. My hips, my body, my arms, my neck, my jaw, my lips, my eyes, my forehead, all weightless. They don't weigh a thing. I'm floating, floating, floating. I'm floating like a balloon in the air. Like a balloon in the air, I'm floating. I don't weigh a thing. My body is just floating, 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 floating. My body is floating. My legs don't weigh a thing. My feet don't weigh a thing. My hips don't weigh a thing. My body, my arms, my neck don't weigh a thing. My jaw doesn't weigh a thing. My lips don't weigh a thing. My eyes don't weigh a thing. I'm floating, floating, floating. Like a balloon floating in the air. Floating in the air. Weightless. Floating, floating, floating. My body is 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 floating. Floating. My body is floating. My body is floating. My body is floating. My body is floating.